And I always love that countdown because it gets me ready for my next guest. I am Shelly Harris, and I'm your host here on Luminary Leaders Live. And today I'm so excited because we have a premium episode with one of my favorite CEOs and executives, and we have the opportunity to represent this phenomenal woman. And I'm going to bring her on in just a moment, but I want to make sure you, as our audience, we are streaming live to multiple platforms on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and also we'll be going into a lot of different groups with this particular episode because it's going to be that great. So I want to introduce you to my guest, and I'm going to bring her on. And Kristen, welcome to Luminary Leaders Live. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you, Shelly.
Oh, thank you for being here, Kristen. And, you know, we have to give Mary Sadat a shout out with Sadat and Associates because she definitely brought us together. And, you know, since I've met you, we've done a lot of things together. We did a panel together. We had you on the Women's History Month video where you gave such inspiration. And today it's going to be all about you and your company and how it started. And I would really love to start out, you know, as we said, you know, you're the president and co-owner of Cerius Executives. And this company has a wonderful history. And I want to start there, Kristen. So can you share just kind of the how this evolved with Cerius Executives?
I absolutely love telling this story because it was not a straight line by any means. And there was nothing in my background or in my intention that said, I'm going to be a business owner. I was caught up in the layoffs in 2009. The company was sold. I started to do consulting. And there was nothing that frustrated me more than going in, helping companies figure out what the answer was, leaving, and they had to then figure out how to implement that answer. I knew there was another way. So I ended up on a nonprofit board with the actual founder of Cerius Executives. We got to know, and I found about this concept of actually going in and playing a temporary role inside of a company, giving them all the tools, the training, the extra set of hands, the bandwidth to help them get to where they wanted to be.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant. And so through a number of circumstances, my business partner, Pamela, and I got to know each other.
Yeah.
We really trusted that we were going to do the right thing and ended up working with Cerius. And we eventually did a management buyout.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing. You know, just to know that, I mean, the story started back in 2009. And the wonderful thing is that you built this community of CEOs. And I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of people in your organization. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I know you have a lot of, you know, executives that you work with, you do workshops. You do a lot of webinars and different types of deliveries on leadership and different topics. Let's talk about that, because that's something I think that would be appealing, especially to a lot of people that are on LinkedIn, that own companies, that are CEOs. Let's talk about that, Kristen.
Thank you. And what I love is there isn't just one person to say, you're an independent or an interim executive, and you are a CEO. Over the years, our clients have become our interim executives, and our interim executives have become our clients. The executive career is so fluid, Shelly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if businesses realize the opportunity to be able to get the expertise they need, whether it's on a temporary basis, a part-time basis, just advising them on what they need to do, working with their teams to be able to coach them on the job, not just from outside the company, but being inside part of the company and coaching them on how to get there faster. How do we make this a straight line to the end? And that's where we built up this community, as you say, ecosystem, because everyone looked around going, what's an independent executive? What's the difference between interim and fractional and advisory? So we just became that education tool for those executives where you look at job boards and it says, what are you? And there's that drop down. There's no interim executive on that drop down. There's no
Mm,
option of interim executives. So we wanted to be able to educate businesses on how they can use the available expertise, and
mm.
executives that there's another career option.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, when you think of Cerius Executives, how do people join your community? Where's that entrance, into the company?
Of it. It's right at our, normally if they're getting introduced to us, someone has told them about it. So I love that they're getting introduced to and getting to know Cerius before
Mhm.
they've ever hit our website. But we end up guiding them to our website, and you can see our two communities on there. The first question is, are you an executive looking for another career path and you want to be independent? Or are you a company looking to use and leverage this expertise? So we just guide them through
Mm.
the path, bring them into the community, and we have meetings, we have resources, we have all these tools to just even help educate them on what does this look like to be
Yeah.
an intern with companies in this way.
Yeah, and that is so fascinating. And I can almost relate that where, with my company with Luminary Leaders, where we represent our speakers, we also work with event planners. So we can help either uh, group to bring them together. And you're doing the same thing with businesses and interim executives. So it's just fascinating what you've and this is where you purchase the company. So when you purchased, both you and your partner, when you purchased it, did you have to change any of the infrastructure or the design of the company, or did you just continue with it?
We continued with it, but at a rapid rate. It's in
Mm,
our core values that we wanted a fun, fast-paced environment. And we got to do that when there's just two people making the decision versus a number of shareholders. And it
that's
was
cool. Yeah.
it was such a fun discussion to be able to sit down and say, okay, we're doing this together. Here's what I want for the future. And part of what I wanted for the future was like, I'm marrying someone in the military. I'm not going to be in the same spot all the time. I
Yeah.
want to have a family. I need to be able to have that flexibility. And we were able to create an environment where I was able to do that. And we're able to offer
Yeah.
others that opportunity as well.
That's awesome. And I do want to give you and your family a shout out, and your husband, because you are a military wife, and I think that's just wonderful, because it takes the entire family. And I do work with the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and I see the families and the dedication that's put forth. And thank you, and please tell your husband, thank you for his service, because it's not easy, and it's definitely something that we appreciate and value so much.
I thank you so
And
much. It's
yeah.
uh, it's out of love. I believe me. I play this game. I said I'll never marry someone in the military, and
Oh,
there's a
really?
never going on a business. I ended up owning a business. I'm starting to use the word never a
Oh,
little
I know, I know. Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about that this morning, Kristen. I kid you not, because I remember when I was in the banking industry, I had customers that would come in, a business customer, and one in particular, and I asked him, I said, "How many hours a day do you work?" And mind you, I was a branch manager at that time, and he said, "I work half a day." And I said, "Oh, half a day? Well, you don't work a full day?" He goes, "No, I either work the first 12 or the second 12." I'm like, I would never own a business. I use that word never, and look at both of us now, right? So,
you
and we're
just
boss ladies, right? Yeah, and unstoppable. And I know you're unstoppable because you have also written a few books, and your most latest. Can you share with us? You just launched your new book.
I did. I woke up one day last year, Shelley, and thought, I I've spent over 15 years talking to business owners and
Yeah.
finding out what they want to accomplish. What is it that they want? Not asking what's the job description, what are the requirements, in working with them on an interim and a somewhat unorthodox way than business is used to. We always get to start the question of what's the outcome you want? What's that
Mhm.
destination take them to? I wanted to dive into that a little more, especially from a founder's perspective. And so I interviewed probably 30 turnaround executives, coaches, to find those common threads because I've been experiencing them for 15 years. I wanted to put a formula to them. And out of that came this really fun fictional tale where I got to pull in all of these client experiences and interviews into this owner's journey, this founder's journey of realizing I don't want to work 12-hour days. I want to dream about my business. I don't want to dread it.
All right. Exactly.
And that she always said, I can't go hire a team. I can't do this. I can't do that. And we're used to that. Those self-limited, I can't, I never. And
True.
she just got the right village around her. She got super intentional on what she wanted to become. And it all fell into place, all the tools, the resources, the village. And it's so exciting because then you start, I've been asked, so are you Carrie? Are you the main character? I'm like, I think every business owner I've ever met is the main character. So
It can be in different forms, right? Because and a book like that is priceless because when you think about it, it's really kind of it's an inside look into things that have either been difficulty, obstacles, and solutions, and things that people can learn from and not make those mistakes, or learn from it and even have more success and more growth.
I absolutely. I mean, we talk about, I consider myself a pretty ordinary person. You and I have talked about, I've raced Ironmans, I've done ultra marathons, and there
I
is
know. Oh my gosh.
who grew up with me who says, oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Everyone has this shocked look on their face. And I tell them, you can have extraordinary outcomes with ordinary conditions. You just need to be clear on that destination. And I got into it because it's so easy in the racing world. You know what race you're going to do. You know the exact path you need to take, what you need to train. And we can do that in business. We do this every day with our clients, right? What's the outcome you want? What's that rate? What's that finish line? Where is it? Let's get someone who's actually done that race before. They're going to tell you exactly what that race course is, what to do. And I started to see all these parallels and dots connect through writing the story, look and see how in the world did I do something that I was not built to do. Not all of us are built to be entrepreneur. I did not wake up dreaming I want to be an entrepreneur and business owner.
Me too. Yeah.
Got the right village around me. And I've been able to grow it and build it because I've had some really smart people, Shelley, tell me, no, not that direction, this direction. The race course is here.
And isn't that wonderful to have those kind of mentors and, people that you can trust and they have your best interest in mind? I think that's what's important is because, whether it's your spouse or even my kids, I don't know about you, because I know you have children too. And, when you think of just the dynamic of the community that you have, it's wonderful to know that you can really bring that into your business. And even with being, a Marine wife and also, an Ironman, both of those things, I mean, those had probably contributed to the success that you're seeing today. And with the Ironman, let's talk a little bit about that. I know we only have a few minutes left, but I want to talk about your Ironman experience because you've done some pretty amazing things.
Well, it started with me saying, I'm never going to do an Ironman. That's crazy. And then you get this village around you. My husband or then boyfriend was deploying at the time. And a friend of mine called me and said, I know this is tough. He's going to Iraq. He's been gone for 13 months. I got something to keep you busy. There's this triathlon thing. I was like, what's a triathlon? He goes, well, you swim. I was like, sure, I've been in the ocean. You bike, no problem. I got a beach cruiser. And you run. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. He goes, no, you can walk. It's okay. So I went through, I just had this kind of medium, almost a half Ironman course in mind, and I was going to do that, and that was it. And then I got around these incredibly supportive individuals along with a coach. And I knew that being surrounded with them and having the right training plan, that why am
No.
I here? Let's go do this. Let's
Yeah.
challenge. I love a good challenge. So my never again turned into
Possible.
during that, you
Yeah.
are an Iron Man. And then thinking, all right, when's the next one? When's the next one? And you just really, you lean, when you feel like the impossible is possible, you just lean into it even more, Shelley. And I've been
You do.
incredibly fortunate to be surrounded by people who support me in that way.
That is phenomenal, because when we look at ourselves as women, we think, Ironman, you think of a male, right? And when you think of women, where there are some pretty amazing women out there, including yourself, that get out there and do these competitions, and it has to be rewarding. When you get to that finish line, is it really just exhilarating?
There is every training session you think, I'm not doing this.
Mm,
There is just absolutely no way. And we think of the race as just one big training session.
yeah.
Absolutely. You see that finish line. And I always have to kind of catch my breath to not hyperventilate, because I feel like
Oh,
I'm about to cry. And I don't know if it's because I'm about
oh
to cry if I
gosh.
sit down, or I'm going to cry because I actually accomplished
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So, it's been so much fun, Kristen. And I know we can talk for a long time, because we have a lot of things we can, just get out there and share and talk about. And we'll definitely have to have you on again. I want you to give the the names of your two books. So if you can share that with our audience.
Absolutely. That fun, fictional, heroic journey of Carrie, the CEO of the manufacturing plant that gets set on fire. That is
Mhm.
Finding Leadership. I welcome you to read her journey, explore it, and share your own. And the other is any executive out there who knows that there's another way, wants to be able to just help companies get to the
Mhm.
finish line faster. That's the solution executive. How do you figure
Solutions.
out what is your expertise and how you can help?
Oh, thank you for sharing those. And we will have that in the show notes. And, we want to thank our audience for being here. I have one last question for Kristen. Kristen, what's next for you?
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that one. Um, that's crazy. I've always said it's a never. I've always said I'm never going to get my doctorate. Never. And I
Mm,
have this inkling in the back of my head
I'm
that at some
sensing,
I want to go
yeah.
after it.
Hmm.
I absolutely I loved researching. I loved interviewing. I loved pulling together the information for Finding Leadership. And I thought, one of my journeys in the future, I think that's going to be it, even though I said I would never.
So we'll look back at this maybe 2 years from now, 2 or 3 years from now. And by that
Yeah,
time,
no timeline
I'm
here.
I'm thinking that you're gonna have that. So you said it here right on Luminary Leaders Live, and this is a permanent video. Oh, well, Kristen, it was wonderful having you on. And I just want to remind our audience, we are here with Kristen McAlister. She is the president and co-owner of Cerius. Oh my gosh,
Serious
Cerius.
executives.
Oh my
Let's just
gosh.
get serious
I had a
marketing.
brain fade there for a second.
Oh,
So we want to make sure that you connect with her on LinkedIn. She has 2 books that she's written. She's also a keynote speaker. So if you're looking for a speaker, please feel free to, reach out to us or go directly to Kristen. And, she would be a fantastic speaker for a business event or a conference, anything that you really need a phenomenal speaker for, that is in front of an audience of entrepreneurs and CEOs and executives. So there you go. There you have it. Kristen, again, thank you so much for being here. And we want to thank our audience for being here. And as I always say, go back to the beginning, watch this particular video. And it is a premium episode with Kristen McAlister. So thank you, Kristen. We appreciate
thank
you
you.
being here.
Always fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care.